Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So today I decided to film a video feeding my reptiles. I've already filmed that part, but I wanted to go ahead and do the intro after, so here we go. First things first, I want to say I am not a professional, I'm not a veterinarian, I am not a rescuer, any of that kind of thing. I am just an enthusiast. I love my animals, and I do have multiple animals in these videos. I do have one reptile who will not be taking place in this video. I do own 3 reptiles. I will only be feeding 2 in this video. Unfortunately, my snake, Sirius, is a Kenyan sand boa, and he is also in shed. So he will not be participating. He's having a difficult time, and I'm not going to stress him out. At any given point, you might find that certain animals are not featured in my videos, even if it's a video about that particular type of animal. And the reason behind this is if my animals are not in shape to be in the videos, or they do not wish to participate, I will not force them to. So don't feel like I'm saying I'm feeding all my reptiles and then I'm ignoring one of them. He is just in a place where he cannot participate in the video. So to get started, this is, of course, feeding my reptiles. Now, I am only doing 2, which are my leopard gecko and my Pac-Man frog. Kida being the gecko and Mossy being the frog. Now, these 2 eat the same diet. They eat crickets. And when feeding crickets, you have to keep in mind certain things. So I'm going to go through a few of those things prior to showing you the actual feeding. First and foremost, you have to get your crickets. You need to make sure you get your crickets from a safe source. So my crickets live in this little box right now. I'm about to actually get a big sterilite tote and design a little kind of cricket farm thing going on in my own house. But as of right now, they're just in here. I don't get very many at a time. I only have the 2 that eat crickets, but I am planning to expand on my reptiles, meaning I'll need a lot bigger than this little cricket keeper. But this is fine for right now. When keeping crickets, you do have to remember that crickets are living creatures as well, and they need to be properly cared for, meaning their enclosure, whatever they live in, needs to be sterilized. They need food and water. So when considering food and water for crickets, here's what I do. I use Flucker's Cricket Quencher. Wow. I had trouble with that one. Now, what I find interesting about this, I just picked this up. It was one of the top-rated items in the area, and I just picked it up. And it works really well. This actually gut loads them, as well as keeping them moisturized. And that's fantastic. It has extra calcium in it. Also great for leopard geckos who suffer from calcium deficiencies at times. But this actually comes from Port Allen, Louisiana. So, not too far from where I live. I would love to take a trip out there and get some feeder crickets from them, perhaps to maybe do a little project in the future, but for now, that's not what I do. I just go to a local pet store and get some crickets. Doesn't cost much. I think it's like $4, $5, maybe $6 to get a bunch of crickets. That'll last me a few weeks. Next, I also use this dry food. It's just from a big box store, and it was on clearance, so I purchased it for like 50 cents for 2 of these. But there are tons of different brands you can use. These are not the end-all brands. These are just what I use, and pretty much you can put a wet potato in their box, and they'll be good. But I like to make sure they're supplemented and gut-loaded properly before feeding them to my animals. I only want what's best for my reptiles. Next, I don't have this item in the room with me, but I'm just going to go ahead and tell you what I use. You do want to dust your feeders when you are feeding them to geckos, frogs, and certain other reptiles. I use Repashy Calcium Plus, which also has their vitamin supplement in it. With this, I don't have to go back and forth between doing vitamins this day, calcium that day, and flip-flop. This item is good for every feeding. I can dust my crickets with it every single time I feed, and it works out great. I've had no adverse effects of this product, no issues whatsoever. It tends to work really well, and I have to say I like the smell of it. It doesn't smell like some of the other ones, which smell pretty horrid. This one actually, I tend to find that it smells like bananas, so that works out. The only issue I have is my birds like bananas, and Boo will sometimes get excited when I'm feeding the reptiles. Besides that, no issues at all. Kida is very interested in this camera. I want to see if I can show you guys this. She is staring at the camera. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on the little notification bell so you don't miss my next videos, and leave me a like. Let me know you like this, or you don't. It's whichever. I mean, cool. Yeah. Leave a comment letting me know what you'd like to see next. I do have a couple of new pets I have not introduced you guys to yet. They're rescues, and they're really cute. It's just a lot of work trying to get this up there. I'm going to be doing an update on my beta sorority, so you guys are going to get to kind of catch up on those things. I know I've been missing, and I do apologize for that, but I hope this makes up for that in some way.